Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to the 2017 Seattle Fire Department Awards Luncheon, co-hosted today by the Rotary Club of Seattle. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for the Seattle Fire Department's pipe and drums. And please be seated. I can't think of a better way to get started than that. That is amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Mark Wright. I'm the president-elect of the Rotary Club of Seattle. President Kathy asked me to preside over today's meeting, so Kathy, thank you. This is a special day for the Seattle Fire Department, and we are so honored that for the second year in a row, the Rotary Club of Seattle is part of today to recognize the firefighters and the employees who have gone above and beyond the call of duty. I'm honored today that Deputy Chief Tom Walsh, to my right, not only is Tom helping MC today's lunch, he is one of the leaders of the awards committee, president of the Chiefs Union, Local 2898, and an award winner today. So please help me welcome Deputy Chief Tom Walsh. Tom. We civilians will never know what it's like to put on the uniform and to serve the way that you serve. We will never know how much stress you're under. We will never know the emotional toll that this profession has taken on you and your family. What I think is beautiful about today is that we can come together to say thank you, and we can come together as civilians to honor you as your department recognizes you for your merit. Service above self is Rotary's motto. I can't think of a profession that is more fitting for that motto. Every day, the men and women of Seattle Fire get up and they serve. And just a personal note, just before today's meeting, I'm a little bit emotional about this still. A firefighter came up to me and said, Mark, 7 years ago I was up in Bellingham as an ambulance driver, and I transported your dad to Hospice House of Bellingham. He didn't introduce himself that day, but he knew who I was, and he introduced me today. He's with Fire Station 2. Brandon Schmidt is here today. Brandon, thank you for your service. So that's the kind of people we have in the room today, and we're so honored. Please give a warm welcome now to Seattle Fire Department Chaplain Joel Ingebrigtsen, who will lead us in today's invocation.
Let's pray. In our moments of uncertainty and helplessness, we count on those who answer the call of service in our community. Today, we give thanks especially for the women and men of the Seattle Fire Department who come around us in both complex and simple ways to bring certainty, help, and compassion in the midst of chaos. We give thanks to our gracious God that gathered around this meal, we celebrate the members of this fire department who daily answer the call to service, coming by our side with their gifts of mind, strength, and heart, and model what it means to sacrifice and go beyond self. We celebrate and recognize these gifts, and we give thanks for the vision and support of the Rotary Club, bringing us together to honor these award recipients, those who serve us with the heart of a servant. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. I'd like to acknowledge the visiting Rotarians in the room. If you're not from Seattle 4, if you could please rise and be recognized as a guest today. It's good to have you here. Thank you so much. We also have Seattle Fire Department members, their families, and distinguished guests. If you all could stand and be recognized, please, as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you. It's now my honor to introduce the mayor of the city of Seattle, Ed Murray.
Well, good afternoon. It is an honor to be here. And on behalf of the people of the city of Seattle, my greatest thanks to all of you who serve in the fire department. Those of you who are getting awards today, a special congratulations from the people of this city. You know, as we grow, and we're growing pretty rapidly, the challenges on you are growing rapidly as well. But it's amazing the response that you've been able to achieve. Under the leadership of Fire Chief Scoggins, we are now meeting life-safe emergency standard call times more than 80% of the time. nearly double what it was just 6 years ago. That's quite an achievement. A special thank you to the Rotary for honoring, Rotary 4, excuse me, Seattle Rotary 4 for honoring our firefighters and the work that they do. When people call 911, it's the worst moment of their life, and you're their best hope. And I can't thank you again for what you do. I want to acknowledge all of those who are being honored. I also want to acknowledge the memory of Donnie Chin, somebody I had the privilege of working for 26 years. Whose civic commitment has been an honor to his community, to his family, and to his family here today. Our police department is doing everything in their power to solve this murder. So with that, let me close by saying, you know, when you have a job like mayor, early on, you've never run a fire department, you've never run a police department, but early on you realize that the most important thing, your biggest worry, is that your fire department, the men and women of the fire department, and the men and women of the police department come home safely. So thank you for your courage. And to your families who send your firefighters out every day, thank you for your courage. May God keep you safe, and God bless the city of Seattle.
Good afternoon. My name is Harold Scoggins, Fire Chief, and I can't thank the Seattle 4 Rotary Club enough for being willing to partner with the Seattle Fire Department for the second year in a row in honoring the men and women of the Seattle Fire Department. All Seattle firefighter members, how about we give Rotary a round of applause? I also want to thank Mayor Murray and the Seattle City Council for their ongoing support. You know, our partnership with Rotary is pretty easy for me to get in alignment with when you think about the Rotary values and the 4-way tests. You know, those are things that we as firefighters live by every day. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerns? All firefighters think through those things each and every day in what we do in service to this community. Many times the community does not get to see us go out the door. For example, last year we went out the door over 97,000 times in service to this community for a 911 response. Many community members don't get to see the tens of thousands of building and business and residential inspections that we're doing to make this community safe. Many people don't get to see the tens of thousands of touches that we have all over this community in educating this community to have an impact. Today, you're going to hear some of those stories. You're going to hear some of those successes. So we're excited today to bring you this program. Thank you all for making time out of your schedule to be here today. And thank you to all of our honorees. But every member of the Seattle Fire Department, thank you for what you do in service to this community. Thank you.
And now it's my great pleasure to introduce Local 27 Executive Board Member, Firefighter Tyson DePoe.
Good morning. We'd like to welcome you all here, and again, thank the Rotary for co-hosting with us and sponsoring us and being able to showcase the pride of the Seattle Fire Department, the people that have gone above and beyond today, and you'll get to meet them and see how we work as a team. And we'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the workers here at the Sheraton and their union for putting on a great event like this for us. So thank you to the workers here at the Sheraton. Here today, the members that are being honored really showcase the concept of the teamwork of what it takes to make Seattle Fire Department run, from the chiefs to the firefighters to the officers to the support staff, and for people who have given their lifelong achievements and all of their work to being a part of that Seattle Fire Department family. And we're fortunate enough to be an integral part of that as the local union to represent the firefighters, the lieutenants, and the captains. So again, thank you and congratulations to the award winners. Thanks, Tyson.
Tyson, thank you. Before we move on to the awards section of the ceremony today, we would like to take an opportunity and say thank you to those firefighters who have put their lives on the line not only for the residents here in Seattle, but in service of our country.
We have many active military reservists in the Seattle Fire Department who regularly train and deploy. I would like to recognize the following SFD members. Captain David Pagan of Ladder 8, who will be leaving the Seattle Fire Department for a one-year deployment in June. Lieutenant Chris Carter from Engine 16 will also be leaving in June for a two-year deployment with the United States Navy. And Firefighter Brian Blackwood from Engine 28 will be getting ready for a 90-day deployment with the Navy as well. Thank you to Captain Pagan, Lieutenant Chris Carter, and Firefighter Blackwood. And at this point, we'd like to take a brief break on the podium and allow you to enjoy your lunch.
Ladies and gentlemen, our program will resume right now. I hope you're enjoying your lunch. If I could have your attention, please. On December 15th, 2016, Seattle firefighters responded to a two-alarm fire at Woodland Park Zoo. 2 firefighters were injured. A number of turtles did not survive the fire. I'd like to introduce you now to the Woodland Park Zoo President and CEO, Alejandro Grajal, who's here to give a special thank you to the Seattle Fire Department. Please welcome Alejandro.
Thank you. Good morning. Good afternoon. It's always a devastating event when a fire happens to anybody, their property or their family and so on. But when it happens in a zoo, it's a very, very scary proposition. Not only are we in charge of lots of families and people, but thousands of animals. So on a cold winter night in the middle of December, we got an alarm on our night house. I have the privilege of looking through my window into the roof of the night house, and I could see within a few minutes that the flames were shooting several feet above the ceiling. I was just monitoring the walkie-talkies, and before I knew it, there were 6 firemen up on the roof trying to open holes through that. When I came out, there were more than 14 trucks around taking care of an amazingly scary operation. We had to evacuate 182 animals out of the building, and at the same time, the fire department was doing an amazing job at controlling the situation. This was one of those unique situations where not only were they controlling the fire, but they were actually moving things like poisonous cobras and crocodiles from one place of the zoo to the other. I had the privilege also to come out and find the dedication and the amazing work that the firemen of the firefighters of Seattle do this. Particularly, I have to say, my good friend Harold Scoggins showed up and personally came to my office to make sure that everything was under control. The work they did that day and the work they did in the following days after the fire was truly remarkable. We train for these things, but when it happens, you know that you're in good hands with the Seattle Fire Department. So my great thanks to the firefighters of Seattle for the amazing work they've done with it. You practice for the worst, but you know that you're in good hands with an incredible fire department as the Seattle Fire Department. Thank you so much, and thanks to you.
Alejandro, thank you. And Alejandro, a brand new Rotarian in Seattle, welcome. It's good to have you. So the Community Service Awards are what we're going to start out with this afternoon. Next, we'd like to recognize some individuals who've shown remarkable dedication to serve, whether to a cause, a special project, or performing heroic actions during an emergency response. These are people who have gone the extra mile and truly embody service above self. Every year, the Seattle Fire Department participates in the National Toys for Tots program run by the Marine Corps Reserve. Fire stations, as many of you know, serve as drop-off points for new and unwrapped toys. 2 community organizations really have helped facilitate our efforts in this. Penske Truck Leasing, branch rental manager Chong Chong, manager Bakalcha Muhammad, and Representative Rekia Wheeler have generously provided reliable trucks for toy pickup and delivery. Collected toys in their lobby, they've advertised the toy drive. Also, Ajit Gill and Jose Huerta from Storehouse Self-Storage provided the space to store these toys. This service to our community, providing toys and hope and joy for kids who really need it during the holiday season, would not be possible without your partnership and contributions. Thank you and congratulations.
Firefighter paramedic Patty Mann is being honored for her dedicated community service to the burn unit at Harborview Medical Center and the Washington State's Council of Firefighters Burn Foundation. Patty serves as the 11th District Foundation board member and selflessly extends caring and compassionate service to burn survivors. She also galvanizes support from others depending on the needs of burn patients and their families and firefighter visits to the burn floor. Thank you and congratulations, Firefighter paramedic Mann. Let me know. This is your deal. You can do whatever. Well, here, let me.
Okay, hold on.
I'm going to take a point of privilege because Patty should be recognized. If you see Patty in the burn unit at Harborview, not only is she taking care of people who come in, she's also taking the paramedics through the burn unit, making sure they're getting the care and feeding that they actually need. She does an incredible job taking care of people, and she's one of our paramedics. We're lucky to have her. Thank you.
Firefighter Mike Washington is also being honored today. He couldn't be with us, but he's being honored for his dedicated community service with the Team Rubicon Disaster Relief Organization. Mike serves as the Director of Field Operations for Team Rubicon in the Northwest region and is deployed 8 times to disaster areas and was selected as their Veteran of the Year. Mike's selfless contributions have inspired and led other Team Rubicon military veterans in service to those whose lives were devastated from disaster. Mike is also team lead and a key member of the SFD's Critical Incident Stress Management team that helps firefighters manage the stresses of the profession. Thank you and congratulations, Firefighter Mike Washington.
Our next category is administrative citation. This doesn't have a real sexy name, but I could tell you after having spent time with these guys, planning and preparation and training are the key to a successful fire department. The following awards are for fire department units or work groups that performed with a degree of excellence or proficiency that sets the unit apart. Our first award is for members of the High-Rise Plan Committee. Deputy Chief Brian Hastings, Battalion Chief Brady O'Brien, Battalion Chief Matt Rogers, Captain Duncan Jewell, Captain Melissa Kennedy, Lieutenant Mark Frazier, Lieutenant Tim Frank, Lieutenant Toby Graves, and Firefighter John Gorman. They worked tirelessly for hundreds of hours, updating the department's high-rise plan, developing the command sheet and standard operating guidelines, also assisting with the operations training rollout. This effort included a number of stakeholders and meetings with the fire marshal's office, with building managers and building engineers. The high-rise plan is now being used by the King County Fire Chiefs as the new model for the entire region. Thank you and congratulations, High-Rise Plan Committee. Go ahead.
That's okay. Here's a mic right here. The work that this team did on updating our high-rise plan is going to serve this community well. hundreds and hundreds of hours. You see all the buildings going up each and every day. It was important for us to be in concert when we have those operations that take place here in the city. We're also working to partner with the other agencies in the region to make sure if they come in to help us, we're all on the same page. So it's hard to see the work with them standing here, but I can't thank them enough for the work that they've done. Thank you.
Rescue Company 1 firefighters Chuck Bamer, Paul Guerin, Aaron Horowitz, and Jesse Radomski are receiving an administrative citation for their efforts with the dive rescue program. In their role as dive masters, these individuals develop underwater rescue training for all Rescue 1 members. They maintain dive equipment, handle purchases and repairs, track and inspect dive gear, and research safety standards. Recently, they also provided their expertise and assisted with the Rescue Swimmer program. Thank you and congratulations, Rescue 1 Dive Masters.
The members of the uniform work group, Deputy Chief Brian Hastings, Deputy Chief Tom Walsh, Lieutenant John Goins, Lieutenant Bridget Humphrey, Sheila Kelly, Firefighter Denny Kimball, Firefighter Rich Milligan, and Firefighter Matt Runte are receiving an administrative citation right now. So working with the administration, labor, and various vendors, this group evaluated existing uniforms. They researched new uniform options and equipment and updated the department's uniform policies. Each process took a substantial amount of time, with the entire project taking about 4 years to complete. Thanks to your dedication to completing this, and congratulations. This next group of awards recognize actions performed by a unit or work group in both hazardous and non-hazardous conditions.
The Engineering Plan Review section of the Fire Prevention Division are being recognized for performing their work with a high degree of proficiency. Rich Richardson, James Clancy, Roland Falb, George Goodall, Dustin Hanson, and Dan Sully completed detailed engineering reviews of architectural plans and fire protection system designs to ensure that buildings are built with essential fire and life safety systems. The recent level of construction activity in the city of Seattle increased their workload significantly, but through continued support of each other, the plan review team consistently met the challenge. Thanks and congratulations, Engineering Plan Review Section.
I have to give a special thank you to this group, because fire and life safety is what we do. And as you see all these new buildings going up around the community and the landscape changing, their job is to ensure fire and life safety, access, egress, systems, all the things that we don't think about when we go there to work, go there to visit, go there to play. They're making sure those buildings are safe for all of you. So thank you guys very much.
Both support services and fire garage members are receiving a unit citation right now for their efforts with the self-contained breathing apparatus changeover on November 5th, 2016. Services, Captain Mike Green, Captain Mike Newmare, Lieutenant Bridget Humphrey, Clarence Chapman, Patricia Durbin, Sunday Garner, Paul Kaminke, Sal McGowan, and Steve Skillstad, along with fire garage David Durham, Pat Freeberg, Mike Jump, Wilbur Lee, Mauricio Mondragon, Pedro Nunez, Jess Russell, Evan Scott, Brandon Watkins, and Bill Yamamoto. All of these folks assisted with the conversion of all apparatus from, and you fire people will understand that, I have no idea what this means, MSA, SCBA, and cylinders to the new Scott SCBA and cylinders. That sounds complicated just reading it. The project This project, though, was really time sensitive to allow for interoperability among SFD units operating at the same emergency. The changeover required modifying each apparatus. The project expected to take 2 full days plus a portion of a third. This group got it done in 1 long day, thanks to excellent planning and hard work. Fire garage and support services, they came in under budget as well, I might add. Thank you and congratulations, services and fire garage members.
It's important to give context because there was a lot of acronyms there. The most important piece of equipment that we wear each and every day is our self-contained breathing apparatus. Last year we went through a change and we changed manufacturers, and it was a $4 million project that it took this team and many others to actually get done. That is the most critical piece of equipment. When a house is burning, things are going sideways, we don't want it to fail. This is the team that helped us get across the finish line. That's why this is so important. So thank you guys very much.
The following Seattle Fire Department units are receiving a unit citation for their response to a natural gas explosion in Greenwood on March 9th, 2016. Engine Company 21 with Lieutenant Ed Newell and firefighters Nathan Buck, Joey Haugen, and Jeff Markoff. Ladder Company 5 with Lieutenant Charlie Meyer and firefighters Mike Camlin, Richard Martell, and Steve Roberts, and Battalion 6 with Chief Negretto. While operating a building with a reported gas leak, these firefighters were caught in an explosion that destroyed buildings in the immediate vicinity, blew out windows of buildings in surrounding blocks, and was heard 15 miles away. They were hit by the concussive force of the explosion, and many of them were knocked to the ground as debris fell around them. Immediately after the blast, these firefighters checked each other to ensure that everyone was accounted for, and despite injuries, continued to mitigate the incident until relieved of duty and transported to Harborview Medical Center. Thank you and congratulations, Engine 21, Ladder 5, and Battalion 6.
It's important to point the significance of what took place. What Deputy Chief Walsh mentioned, the explosion happened, they went back to work to get the fire under control or to try to maintain the fire from spreading before it went any further while they were all injured. Everyone in the community remembers that night. I know I remember that night. It made my heart stop. And I was so pleased to hear that all of our firefighters were okay. But these are the challenges that we face each and every day, and you never know what's coming. And I'm so proud today that they're able to stand up here with me to receive these awards. So thank you for your work. It means a lot.
Lieutenant Ed Newell is also receiving an individual commendation for his efforts during the incident in Greenwood we just told you about. Along with the initial responding crews, he was injured by the blast from the catastrophic explosion, yet demonstrated professionalism and a cool head by reestablishing command, identifying incident priorities, and providing focused and calm radio communications. Lieutenant Newell ensured that all members were accounted for and provided direction to incoming units. Thank you and congratulations once again, Lieutenant Ed Newell.
We have more commendations. Firefighter Taylor Hughes and firefighter Matthew Martin are receiving a commendation for their actions on June 5th, 2016. While responding to an emergency, Hughes and Martin were waved down by individuals near the address that they were dispatched to. The residents had limited English proficiency. When the firefighters arrived, they found a young man assaulting an elderly woman. Despite this highly volatile situation, they immediately intervened, and they restrained a highly combative man until Seattle police arrived. Thank you and congratulations, firefighters Hughes and Martin.
Firefighter Cliff Ueno is receiving a commendation for his quick actions on November 5th, 2016, when he discovered an intruder inside the bunk room of the fire station 24. Ueno cornered and restrained the individual until Seattle police arrived, keeping his crew safe. Thank you and congratulations, Firefighter Cliff Ueno.
Paramedics Jean Goodner and Shelley Niklos are receiving commendations for their work in obtaining their senior EMS instructor certification and restarting the department's emergency medical technician school program in 2016. There are only 5 senior EMS instructors total in the county. Not only did Goodner and Nicholas obtain their certifications, they also contributed to building the department's program and facilitated the first graduating class of EMTs in more than 15 years. Thank you and congratulations, firefighter paramedics Goodner and Nicholas.
It's important to give you a context on why this is important. Not having an EMT can prevent you from getting a job as a firefighter. In the Seattle Fire Department, we wanted to remove barriers for people so they could get jobs at firefighters. So what we did was we started our own EMT training. These are our paramedics, and they taught our first EMT class in a very long time. And right now we're planning another class so we can remove another barrier so people can get jobs. So great job.
Firefighter Tom Burke is receiving a commendation for his actions on June 4th, 2016. Tom and his brother were hiking with their families in rural Snohomish County when they ran into a group of 2 exhausted hikers. They had been carrying one of their sons after he had experienced 2 grand mal seizures. Burke and his brother sent the rest of their families ahead so they could help evaluate the situation, and after doing so, carried the patient, a 15-year-old male, the remaining mile to the end of the trailhead so he could get help. Thank you and congratulations, Firefighter Burke. And Mike Burke.
Firefighter Amina Soleil is receiving a commendation for her efforts while traveling to Jordan. On November 3rd, 2016, Soleil witnessed a man collapsed on an escalator in the Frankfurt airport in Germany. She helped move the man from the escalator, found that he had no pulse and wasn't breathing, and quickly began providing medical aid. Soleil performed CPR, providing continuous chest compressions and administering 1 shock with an AED to resuscitate him. When local EMS personnel arrived, she continued assisting with ventilation and preparing the patient for transport. Thank you and congratulations, Firefighter Soleil.
In the city of Seattle, we use firefighters to do our dispatching. And we're going to recognize 2 of them right now. Firefighter dispatchers Hilton Allman and Jennifer Bessler are receiving a commendation for their efforts to improve dispatching responses on or near the water. Marine responses are unique, challenging, and complex. And Allman and Bessler worked for more than a year, engaging in formal and informal meetings both within and without the fire department, different groups, to improve efficiency in responses to these incidents. And I'm telling you, it's worked. Thank you and congratulations, firefighter dispatchers Bessler and Allman.
And we have one final commendation, and that is to two firefighters. Firefighters Chase Adamich and Andy Pomeroy are receiving a commendation for their actions off shift in Port Angeles. While competing in a CrossFit competition, they noticed another competitor had collapsed. After verifying that 911 had been called, they checked and found the individual was not breathing and did not have a pulse. Along with a Port Angeles Fire Department lieutenant, they started CPR and administered one shock with an AED. The man started breathing and regained consciousness. Thank you and congratulations, firefighters Adamich and Pomeroy.
You just heard about several awards where people were completely off duty, but they still went to work. CPR in an airport, carrying someone down a trail, and doing a CrossFit competition. It's good to have firefighters in your community. It's good to have them as neighbors because they are never off duty. So thank you for what you do.
John Odegaard is receiving the Distinguished Service Award for his efforts to photographically document the SFD's responses at emergency scenes. As a member of the Seattle Fire Buff Society for many years, John has been actively responding to fire scenes in all areas of the city and at all hours of the day and night to capture our efforts photographically. These photos not only preserve our history, changes in people, equipment, but they're also shared with SFD members and used by our PIA, our evaluative team, to evaluate what we do at fires. Thank you and congratulations, John Odegaard.
The next award is the Maltese Cross. Firefighter Joey Haugen, who is unfortunately not able to join us today, is receiving the second highest award for actions performed under hazardous conditions. When you hear this story, you will understand why he's getting the award. The Maltese Cross is awarded to recognize a member for meritorious actions performed under hazardous conditions that are beyond the call of duty and at great personal risk. Haugen saved the life of a shark attack victim near Kihei, Maui in 2016. Joey heard someone crying for help about 30 yards offshore and jumped into action, commandeering a paddle boat headed out into the surf. He reached an area where the patient was. Haugen found the water surrounding her was red with blood and realized this was not a drowning, it was a shark attack. He continued to her side as she was losing consciousness. He pulled her onto the board and paddled to shore. Once rescued, Haugen organized beachgoers to assist in medical aid for the patient and continued until firefighters arrived. Thank you and congratulations, Firefighter Haugen. So now it is time to turn our attention to the employees of the year for 2016. These individuals have demonstrated incredible service to both internal and external customers, going above and beyond their expectations.
In a service organization, great customer service is something that is expected of all employees. However, this individual continually exceeds everyone's expectations.
My name is Roxana Johnson. I'm an Administrative Specialist 2 at the Fire Prevention Division, Fire Marshal's Office of the Seattle Fire Department. I'm a natural early riser, and I like to come into the office with a good attitude and a fresh mind and get things done before my emails come in and my officers come in and need things and the phone starts ringing. Chief, I'm just here to remind you that you've got technical code coordinator interviews this morning. I really enjoy what I do, and it sounds kind of cliche, but I work with heroes. I work with people that want to save our city. I've been really fortunate to work with an incredible amount of officers, my captains especially, who are just outstanding leaders, and that makes you want to do a better job.
So one of the main reasons I nominated Roxana for this award was I had the opportunity on several occasions to listen to Roxana deal with customers from the outside, both over the phone and in person. She understands the importance of the job, and the way she deals with people is an incredible thing. She's very patient, she's very outgoing. Her ability to multitask is second to none.
I feel very humbled, and Captain Menace is amazing, and I'm grateful for the opportunity that he's given me to accept this honor. There's so many of us at work and deserve so much credit, but it is very, very humbling to be put at the top of that list.
Oftentimes, I would tell Roxana that she was the best. She'd always shrug it off as, "You're just saying that." Well, it turns out, Roxana, that I was right. You are the best. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Roxana. The Employee of the Year is awarded to the non-uniform member who carries out responsibilities in an exemplary fashion, always promoting a can-do attitude.
My name is Doug Colbert, and I manage the Joint Training Facility for the Seattle Fire Department and Seattle Public Utilities. The SCBA pumps are giving us some problems. My job is to handle the facilities, the operations, the scheduling, security, and making sure that it's ready for the training. There's no day that's typical. Something always is going wrong in the facility that needs repair. There's always scheduling conflicts, and so we have a lot of coordination to do. I'm in the office about 50% of the time, outside about 50% of the time. I'm also a planner, and I like to see things planned out in advance. So I take the extra step, not just to make sure today goes smoothly, but the next week goes smoothly, the next month, and the next year.
I don't normally nominate people for awards, but to have somebody that can handle the logistics and keep all the different systems they're running and functioning or fix them means a tremendous amount to the recruit instructors. We'd have the smoke system go down in the burn house, and all of a sudden I'm calling him or texting him, "Doug, I need you out here, we got a class that's about to start," and he would just always come right on out and handle things.
I like to hear the nice things that people have said to me. That's a great honor. This has been my anchor, my rock in my life, and it's the people that make it that way. If it wasn't for the great people, I don't know if I'd enjoy this job as much as I do. But it's not just at the Joint Training Facility, but across the whole department. A great group of people.
Doug's ability to stay calm and be available and just handle problems as they come up and do it with a great attitude is the reason that he is so deserving of the Civilian of the Year award.
Congratulations, Doug Colbert, Employee of the Year.
Firefighter of the Year is someone who has a high regard for customer service, dedication to excellence and innovation, and also serves as a role model to others.
My name is Mickey Mann. I'm a firefighter paramedic for Seattle Fire Department, work in Battalion 3. Those peak experiences in your life are when you really feel like you can inject yourself into someone's life and help them in a meaningful way. And this is the kind of job that allows you to do that every single time you come to work. I mean, I get like a little kid. I've done this job for 30 years, and I get like a little kid when that pager hits because I know somebody needs help and I have the skills to do it. I just find it super rewarding because I get to have those peak experiences all the time. So you show up and she's laying in the hallway, and it's an apartment, and she's got I'm still a firefighter nerd. I mean, I love the people I work with. They work so hard, they're so dedicated. I'm just amazed every time I go on a run or work on a project how many people are sincerely dedicated to a really good outcome. One thing that I've learned over the years is the value of mentorship. The doctor that I came in with, Dr. Copas, he told us once that that the most important thing is to be a mentor or be mentored. And I've been mentored by a lot of people in the department. I've mentored a lot of people, and I can't tell you how valuable that is.
He's working behind the scenes, and the amount of work that he puts in moving our department forward has been pretty outstanding. We had a whole evolution in our department where we instituted a command board. He took all the information that was given to him that people wanted to have on the board and then created it, the design. And so that's where he really excels, is translating all those elements into an actual design that's useful.
It's a little embarrassing because now every fire station I'm going to walk into, somebody's going to make some comment about it, but it's an honor to be recognized by your peers.
Mickey's dedication and hard work, positive attitude, and the amount of contributions that he has made to the department in moving us forward and providing us tools to better accomplish our mission, those are the reasons why he deserves Firefighter of the Year.
Congratulations to Mickey Mann, Firefighter of the Year.
Now for Officer of the Year. Company officers are responsible for providing support, guidance, and direction to their crews every single day. They are the ones ensuring that the department responds quickly and safely to each emergency. They are constantly serving the needs of their crew and the community.
My name is John Kimball, and I'm the officer on Engine 10 C shift at Station 10.
Good morning, Chief. How are you doing? Staffing-wise, we're looking pretty good.
My father retired out of Seattle with 30 years, and I've got a twin brother that's been in for 24 now, and we were just both brought up with an incredible work ethic. Ultimately, I do have a high standard, and I ask a lot. But my crew, I am here because of them, is what I really feel. I come to work and work hard, but I think they're the ones that make me and our crew shine. And so I actually owe all this to not only my father, as far as the work ethic he instilled in me, but to my crew that make coming to work every day not only enjoyable and fun, but they also challenge me, and they're an example to me as much as I am to them.
In the 11 years I've worked with him, I don't really know that I've ever seen him have an off day. You won't find anyone that's more dedicated or committed to the job. He knows what he's doing, he expects you to know what you're doing, and on top of that, he's actually invested in you too as a person.
I always believe in leading by example, and that comes across and is recognized is very humbling, but it means a lot to me too.
Because he comes in on a daily basis in arguably one of the more difficult areas to work and does a great job day in and day out, and he has a myriad of other special projects and other tasks that he completes for this department, and he does it without forgetting the people that he's working with. That's why we're so pleased that John Kimball got the Officer of the Year award.
Congratulations, John Kimball, Officer of the Year. Now for Chief of the Year, and I think I'll read this one. The fire department got that. In much the same way that company officers support their crews, chiefs are responsible for ensuring that their members, their battalions and divisions are prepared for whatever comes their way.
My name is Tom Walsh. I'm the Deputy Chief of Communications and Services. So I got the numbers from February, calls missed, call answering standard. We are the direct contact by the public when they're having a crisis. And then we decide what units are going to go. And we are the direct conduit between operations and the fire department. We speak with the voice of the fire chief. As far as services, we cover everything from bunking gear to new equipment to the rigs. If it wasn't for services, those guys would walk everywhere. It's an important part of the fire department, and I'm proud to be a part of it. When they invade Normandy, everybody thinks about the guy on the beach, but there's many people supporting the guy on the beach, and I feel like we do a pretty good job of that. I love this job, right? I mean, I feel sorry for people who don't have this job. There's a real sense of satisfaction and a real sense of fun in doing it. The people are great.
One thing about Tom, he's very funny, he's personable, he's charming. He's a person that makes you very comfortable to be around. But he always remembers the firefighters. He always remembers what it is they need and what it is we can do for them. And when you're talking about leaders, that's what leadership is. We know where they need to go. He understands what it is we can do to help them get there.
It's nice to be nominated for something like this, and I'm appreciative of it. I realize there's a lot of people they could have chosen from, and it's flattering that they chose me this year.
Tom Walsh is one of the smartest, funniest, and humble men I've ever met. He builds our department, he builds teams. He makes us feel good about ourselves. He helps us get to where we're going. That is why Tom Walsh is Chief of the Year.
Congratulations, Tom Walsh, Chief of the Year. Now for the Lifetime Achievement Award. The Seattle Fire Department is a place of incredible loyalty and dedication. This award recognizes the person who has devoted much of his or her life in service through the Seattle Fire Department.
I'm Mike Nakamichi. I've been on the job for 46 and a half years, and I've been a battalion chief for about 17 plus. Being a Seattle firefighter has been a highlight of my life. When I got hired here, it was an unknown to me, a total unknown. I never had fought a fire in my life. And once I went into my first fire, I came out with a smile. Because now I know I had a job that I could actually love. When I retire, I'm gonna miss everything about it.
Chief Knox still does the mail run. He loads up the mail run every shift into his briefcase because he wants to go to every fire station in his battalion, and he wants to be with the people. He wants to see his firefighters. He wants to say hello, and it's not just because he thinks it's his duty as a leader. It's because he really cares about his people.
It goes back to what I learned from the former battalion chiefs that I worked with. We're co-workers. I'm not a supervisor, and they're not subordinates. We work together, we do the same thing, we're a team. And as a team, you respect who they are. And in my case, I needed to see those people every day to say, hello, how are you? How are you doing today? It was about the camaraderie and being there with the people I worked with. This Lifetime Achievement Award does mean a lot to me. It belongs to the guys I work with as well.
He's one of those guys who's a leader, but you don't realize it, which I think is probably the best kind of leader there is, because you're able to talk to the man. One of those kind of guys that doesn't need to verbalize that he has an open door policy, because you just know. Chief Nakamichi is a firefighter's chief. He's a leader, he's a doer, he's a mentor, and he's a friend to so many people. He's spent his career contributing to this fire department in a way that most people never could. We just can't say that about too many people. So that's why Chief Nakamichi is receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award, and I couldn't be more proud of the man.
Congratulations, Mike Nakamichi, Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. Congratulations. Now for the Compassionate Service Award. The Seattle Fire Department and Seattle Rotary Club Compassionate Service Award recognizes community members who demonstrate care and concern for those in need, give selflessly of their time and resources to improve our community and inspire others to do the same. They are exemplars of the Rotary model of service above self and the department's mission of professional, effective, and compassionate service. I'd like to reintroduce Chief Scoggins, who's wearing two hats right now as our fellow Rotarian and also Chief of the Seattle Fire Department. Chief.
Thank you, Mark. So this year's Rotary Compassionate Service Award is being presented posthumously to Donnie Chen. Donnie had an impact on the Seattle Fire Department. I never had an opportunity to meet Donnie, but I can't tell you how many stories I've heard about Donnie from the members of the Seattle Fire Department that really speaks loudly to who he was as a person and how much our people really cared about him. Back in 1968, Donnie formed the International District Emergency Center because at the time, police and fire department response times were slower than needed. Donnie learned first aid and then trained others in the community. He monitored police radios. I can't tell you how many stories I've heard that Donnie showed up before we got there and he had his radio in his hand. And then he headed to the scene providing services free of charge. Donnie responded to thousands of emergencies, medical, emotional traumas, fires, shootings, assaults, car accidents, and power outages. He trained local social service agencies on emergency medical assistance and then security issues. Throughout the years, he earned the respect of both the Seattle Police Department and the Seattle Fire Department for his invaluable assistance to the community. Donnie was the heart and soul of the International District, a beloved son, a brother, a cousin, a mentor, surrogate father, uncle. He will continue to be remembered for his selfless devotion to the community, humble nature, sense of humor, and generous heart, and his love of children. This award is being presented to the Chen family, and here to receive the award is his sister, Connie Chen.
Thank you so much. If you knew Donnie, you would know that he was very humble. So he'd be totally embarrassed by this and probably just stand here and blush. Thank you to Chief Scoggins and our beloved Seattle Fire Department. You said everything already, so this will be really quick. Donnie helped raise many of the children who grew up in the International District. He taught them right from wrong, the importance of service to the community. They're now doctors, nurses, teachers, and social workers. Donnie dedicated his life to serving the community he loved so much. He was proud to serve alongside his brothers and sisters of the Seattle Fire Department. You have always treated him with respect as one of your own. At least after you knew who he was, the guy who kept showing up at places and wasn't part of the fire department actually, but you were his family, so you are also our family. Special thanks to Fire Station 10, who worked so closely alongside Donnie for so many years. Also to Fire Station 6, who was originally on 23rd Avenue South, just a few blocks from our childhood home. We are forever grateful for the incredible support you have shown for Donnie and our family. Thank you again to Chief Scoggins and the amazing Seattle Fire Department, and to the Seattle Fort Rotary Club for this great honor. Thank you very much.
The proceeds from last year's awards ceremony will go toward a good cause, supporting the Seattle Fire Department's fire prevention efforts. I'd like to now introduce Rotary 4 member David Levine to make a presentation to Fire Chief Harold Scoggins.
Thank you, Tom. Before I make the presentation, can we have a quick round of applause for our sponsors here today who helped make today happen as well? Thank you very much for your support. Chief Scoggins, Seattle Fire Department, thank you very much for the service you provide to our community. On behalf of Seattle Fort Rotary and our sponsors, I'd like to present you with $1,000 for fire prevention efforts.
And now, a final word from our chaplain.
He only gives me the final words. Thank you, Chief. Well, as we have come together in this family of Rotarians, the Seattle Fire Department, our police department, all those who come together to honor and to celebrate those who have offered amazing services. And especially as we bless the memory of Donnie Chin. As we leave, we pray that our Lord would come by our side to encourage us, come behind us to strengthen us, be above us to watch over and guide us, and especially within us to give us peace. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Ingerbritsen. I want to give before we wrap things up, I'd like to give the chief another opportunity just to kind of tie things up. But I also want to, he's not the kind of man who would toot his own horn. We've gotten to know him over the last couple of years at Seattle Rotary, and he really is one of our heroes and just someone that we really look up to and value in this community. So please give the chief a round of applause as he comes up to give some final comments.
Thank you. Just a few closing words. You know, none of this is done alone. Firefighters rarely do anything alone. Everything is done together. We believe that we're here to serve this community. It's in us. It's what we do. It's important that we introduce some of the members of our leadership that are here with us today. We have our Assistant Chief of Operations, Jay Hagan. Jay, would you please stand up and be acknowledged? Our Fire Marshal, Assistant Chief Charlie Cordova. Our Executive Director, Helen Fitzpatrick. And it takes partnerships to really get everything that we do done. And I know we introduced earlier Deputy Chief Tom Walsh, who's the president of Local 2898, but I'd like Kenny Stewart, the president of Local 27, to please stand up and be acknowledged. I'm not sure where you're sitting at, Kenny. Oh, there he is right there. Each and every day, the call goes off. Firefighters dress, get on the rig, and they go. And they deal with things over and over and over again, many times not even thinking about themselves, but just about solving problems for others. That's who a firefighter is. Thank you to the Seattle 4 Rotary Club for your partnership, your believing in us as an organization, taking time out of one of your meetings, one of our meetings. I'm a proud Rotarian of Seattle 4, for taking time out of one of our meetings to put our firefighters on a stage and acknowledge their accomplishments. I can't tell you how much that means to each and every person in the room. So thank you to Seattle 4. Please, firefighters, give Seattle 4 a round of applause. And Mark is going to take us home, but I wanted the firefighters, all the members of the Seattle Fire Department, last year we started a little tradition. We're going to get a group photo at the conclusion of the event, and it's going to be at 7th and Union. And I've been told if you go out those double doors, Captain Bear will lead you. That's all members of the Seattle Fire Department, family, friends, or whoever you bring with you. We're going to have a group photo, and we plan on doing this every year to put a stamp on the moment. So thank you, and we appreciate your support.
We have some breaking awards news. The chief forgot one thing. Hold on. I believe so, yeah.
President Kathy, where are you? She's in Europe. That's a very nice place. Well, we have a couple of gifts.
I'll give it to her.
Mark said he'll give it to her. We like to give Mark a gift on behalf of the Seattle Fire Department and just thank him. It's a small token of our appreciation. And we have another gift for Kathy. So thank you.
So now that explains why I'm up here and Kathy isn't. It's all making sense now. Chief, thank you so much. I really appreciate your comments. Today could not have happened without the help of many people. Thank you to the Seattle Fire Department's Awards Committee, the combined SFD and Rotary Awards Luncheon Planning Committee, and the sponsors. If you could please stand, all of those that I just mentioned in the organization and leadership, please stand to be acknowledged. Thank you so much for your efforts. And I know that I do speak for all Rotarians in the room when I just want to give a heartfelt thank you to members of the Seattle Fire Department. We saw today, it takes people in uniform and out of uniform really to do what you do on a daily basis. I'm so grateful for you and that you've chosen this line of work. Words really can't express the way we feel, but know today, leaving here, you have our support, and we're very grateful for what you do. Thank you. And this is just for Rotarians. Next week, we're going to be at the Grand Hyatt for Coming to America. Washington State welcomes the world. We are adjourned.